Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Just type in the comment section if you're there. Just type good evening if you're there and you're hearing me clearly. Hi, Chanel. That's Chanel Cool. Good evening, Chanel. Which school are you from? Type the name of your school. Oh, Central High. Okay, welcome, welcome. All right, we'll soon kickstart, Chanel. I'm just waiting for a few more of our colleagues to join us, and then we will go ahead and start, all right? In the meantime, make sure you have your questions written down that you would like to ask. All right, about the play that you'd like to ask. You can have those written down. And then you can ask them later on. And then I will respond to them for you. All right, if you're just joining the live, just type your name or probably just the name of your school in the chat. Type the name of your school in the chat so I can know who are the persons that we have on here. Welcome for the persons who just logged on. Type the name of your school in the chat. Okay, so we have Rihanna Thomas as well from Central High. Welcome, Rihanna. I see that we have some other persons. I'd also like you to just put your school in the chat, all right? The persons who are just joining, the instructions given, make sure you have your questions written down. If you don't have any questions, that's fine. But write the questions that you have regarding the play. If there's something that you did not understand, something that you know you need clarified, we can put it in. Hi, Mona Lisa from Pembroke Hall. Welcome. Welcome, Mona Lisa from Pembroke Hall. Have your questions ready. All right, we're waiting maybe about another 2 more minutes for some other persons to join, and then we're just going to go right ahead and we're going to start. I hope some of you might still have your paper, right? Remember this paper. If you still have this, we can still work from it. All right, so welcome to the persons who just joined. Just put the name of your school. Who is this? Anime Edits from Tamara from Central High. Welcome, Tamara. Welcome. Make sure we all have our pens and papers ready, all right? Make sure we have our pens and our papers ready. Holy Trinity, I'm seeing Jalicia. Hi, Jalicia from Holy Trinity. Tyreek from Central High. Who is this? Rashara as well from Central High. Listen, my Central High peeps are rolling in, you know. I love that. I love that. Davani from Holy Trinity. Welcome, Davani. Welcome. Glad to have all of you here. All right. So we are going to go ahead and we are going to start and hope the others will join later on. All right. Well, that's it. Just give the live and give it a thumbs up. Now, what I'm going to ask of us, anybody, you can just tell me, did you enjoy the play? That's the first question I want to start with. Did you enjoy the play? Put your response in the comment section. Yes, no, and also just tell me why. And maybe tell me who was your favorite character? Whose side were you on, the male or the female? Chanel said yes, she enjoyed the play. Sure. Okay, so I'm seeing the yeses that you enjoyed the play. Nice, very good. Very good. That's Santana. Santana, you're from which school? Holy Trinity or Central High or Pembroke Hall? All right, so tell me, who was your favorite character from the play? The first half, but it started to get boring at the end. All right, no problem, Davani. Point noted. You like Dion? All right. The female actor was your favorite. You were rooting for her. Ruthan from Central High. Shara said Dion. So you were all seem as if most of you were rooting for Dion. So no rooting for the male character. Davani, you were rooting for the female, to not true. Yes, man. I agree with you. That's my favorite point too. Yes, my favorite character was Dennis Titus, but Dion Silvera took the win. Everything she did feels so real. All right, Tyreek, both of them, somebody said both of them. All right, very good. So I can see that you all enjoyed the performance. And so now we want to get into some specific details for you to be able to write your critique. So let us start with the paper, and we want to start with what is at the front of the document. Now, I hope you all were able to get the bit of information necessary. So you all had the title of the play, which is Once Upon a Watch Night. So I just want you to write the information down as we go along. You had the dates that you viewed the play as well as the location. Now, who can put the name of the playwright in the comment section? Who remember? Let me see if anybody remembers, because I want to make sure that you have the right thing in your book. What is the name of the playwright? What is the name of the playwright? Okay, that's the first name. I see Tyrika place the first name, Basil. What is his last name? Because remember, for the critique, you have to put the entire name, What's his last name? Anybody remembers? Very good. Chanel Coles. His name is Basil Dawkins. That's the name of the playwright. All right. And so as you put your critique together and you start writing the play, remember his name is Basil Dawkins. All right. Who was the director? Put it in the comment section for me. Who was the director? Put the name of the director if you remember. Very good. Santana said TK Dawkins. Davani said TK Dawkins. Nice. Wonderful. All right. And so this play didn't have a choreographer in the play. Anybody know who the stage manager was? Or what's the name of the stage manager? Let me see if anybody got that information. Anybody got that information? What is the name of the stage manager? Anybody got that information? No, Doreen Reed is not the stage. He's not the stage manager at all. As a matter of fact, you're talking to Doreen Reed now. All right, try again. Anybody else wants to try? All right, so in the interest of time, I'm going to tell you the name of the stage manager for this show was Miss Yvette Gale. I'm going to put it in the chat, Miss Yvette Gale. All right, that's the name of the stage manager. I just placed it in the comment section. Her name is Yvette Gale. All right, so you can go ahead and you can put that in. What's the full name of the two actors who played the different roles? So somebody told me Dion Silvera earlier. So it simply means everybody remember the lead actress whose name is Dion Silvera, and Tyreka said Dennis Titus and Dion Silvera. Very good. Those are the two lead. And that information, guys, that I just gave to you is the information that would make up the first paragraph of your critique. All right, that information would make up the first paragraph of your critique. So you may want to start by writing that, you write it in the form of a paragraph. And so you write that, okay, the name of the play was viewed on this particular date. And you write the name of the play, you write the name of the date. It was written by Mr. Basil Dawkins and directed by T.K. Dawkins. The stage manager was Miss Yvette Gale, and the two lead actors were Dennis Titus and Dion Silvera. Once you've written it like that, then you would have given all the details necessary for the production. Understand, everybody? And so that is going to make up your first paragraph. So now let us go speaking of the play. What about the choreographer, Davani? This play did not have a choreographer. You utilize that section for the choreographer when you have dancing or you have choreographed fights, right? So we did not have any of those in this one. So you do not need the choreographer this time around. So there is none. All right, so you don't have to fill out that section of it. Good. Now, so let us talk a bit about the play itself. So let us now open the document, the paper, and we want to talk about the summary or the plot. Yes, let us talk a little bit about the summary section or the plot of it. Yeah, we want to talk about all the things that are happening. Now, when you are, so we're just talking a quick bit about the summary before we get into all the other things. So what's maybe one of the first things? I want the summary to be brief. So let us look at the different things that happened in the play. And we talk about the different events. Somebody can tell me what's one of the first events that took place in the play based on what you were seeing? Right, and I'm going to give you them in pointers. So when you're ready to write your critique, you have to put them in paragraph format. So what was one of the first things that happened? Very good. The first major incident, the lady locked them up in the house. So you can start there, right? So the lady locked them up in the house and show with the key. Very good. Yes, Davani, very good. So Chanel and Davani are telling me that he got locked up in the house. What next, in your opinion, could be the next incident? What do you think the next incident could be? Anybody? He was caught up in his lie. What does that mean, Tyreek Johnson? Give me a little bit more. What you mean caught up in his lie? Tell me what part of it you're referring to when you say he was caught up in his lie. What part of it when you say that he was a thief stole his car? That's further towards the end. That's not so early yet, Chanel. We're not at that one yet. That come towards the end. All right. So first one is that he was locked up in his house. What could you put as a second incident that happened when he was locked up in his house? Okay, so you said that he lied to his wife. Okay, so of course he lied to his he lied to his wife or lied to his family so that we could use that as a second incident. He was trying to call, but no one was available. Very good. So you could start with he got into the lover locked him up in the house and he tried to call several persons, but no one was available. And then he lied to his wife and missed his daughter's event, right? Missed his daughter's event, right? Missed his daughter's event. We soon get to the location, Mona Lisa. So when you talk about after he missed his daughter's event, but you also want to talk about the fact that both of them also told the story from their perspective. Yes, both of them told the story from their perspective. Right? In the end, Elton almost died. Millicent wanted to get a house. Elton tricked Millicent and didn't give her the house. And of course, Elton's lie was found out. And when he left the house, he was killed. And that's a basic summary. So we're going to talk it through again. So I want you to listen carefully so you can jot it down. And you can always come back to this section of the life to find it. So you want to start with the fact that he was locked up in the house. Yes, he was locked up and detained by his lover. Remember who the nature of the relationship, right? And you use the character names. So Millicent was the person who locked them in the house and threw away the key. After Millicent locked them in the house, what happened again? Elton tried to make several phone calls so he could get out, but no one was available. He then lied to his wife about where he was. And while he was there, he missed his daughter's event. After missing his daughter's event, both Elton and Millicent told their story, their side of the story, from their own perspective. Having told their story from their own perspective, it was revealed that Elton was the person who destroyed Millicent's marriage and then found another wife and still did not get married to Millicent. While they were telling their story and Elton and Millicent were arguing, Elton almost died. Eventually, Elton's wife found out about his lies. Elton's wife found out about his lies. Millicent asked for a house. Elton tricked Millicent, and eventually Elton was killed. Right? And that kind of give you a summary. Now, you can write it out in your own sentences. What I've basically done is that I have just given it to you in point format. So some of the important parts of the play that you want to mention when you're writing your critique, right? So if there's anything you want me to repeat, just put it in the comment section and I will repeat it for you. All right, put it in the comment section and I will repeat it for you. Okay, Rashara, you want me to repeat it? All right, so I'm going to talk it and I'm also going to put it in the comment section while I'm talking about it, okay? So the first thing you want to talk about, all right? First thing you want to talk about is the fact that the key was thrown away by the lover, all right, which is Millicent, right? So the story is about a married man and his lover. That's the first thing. So you want to start with an opening sentence in your summary. So let me put it for you. So the story is about a married man who got detained by his lover. Yes. So that's your opening. So that's your opening statement. And so we want to list the various incidents, and I'm just going to give you them in point format, and you will always write them over. All right. Millicent, the lover, locked them inside and threw away the key. Right. That's point one. Then you have, when you get to number two, you can talk about the fact that he tried to call for help, but no one was available. Good. So let us go to point three. He lied. Elton lied to his current wife about his whereabouts. And when you're writing it, you can put it in your own words, because you have to open it and explain each thing, each part. Yes? He lied to his current wife about his whereabouts. He missed both characters told the story from their own perspective. We found out that Millicent was also married, and her marriage was destroyed by Elton. Yes, both. Her marriage was destroyed by Elton. Elton promised to marry Millicent, and he did not. And he did not. All right. Millicent sought to get Elton to buy her a house, but Elton tricked Millicent. In the end, Elton was killed. Right? And so you can put in the other things that I have not mentioned, but these are some basic pointers that you can put in your critique when you're writing the critique. All right, guys. So if you are understanding the information so far and you like what is there, I'm just going to ask you to give the live a thumbs up. And also, while you're at it and we're just going through and chit-chatting, just subscribe to the channel as well, so that if you put any comments and questions inside there, I will always be able to go back and see them. Yes. Or you can access all the other videos on Theatre Arts. So after the live, you can go ahead and check out the video on the channel on your own. There are several other videos where I would have uploaded things and on other topics about theater arts. All right. So let me know if you're still there and you understand what we have there about the summary, because I want us to talk a little bit about the setting, but I want to make sure that everybody is with me first before I start talking about the setting. So let me know that you're still there. So we haven't mentioned this setting at all as yet. So you tell me, what do you think the setting of the play was? Who is asking about other cast members? Davani, remember there weren't any other cast members. Remember, they had only 2 persons in the play. So the 2 persons made up the cast. So only 2 persons were there. Dion Silvera, who played Millicent, and Dennis Titus, who played Elton. All right, so you would not have anybody else. You would only use that section if more persons were in the play. All right. Millicent home is the setting, Latoya said. All right. So yes, we know it's in Millicent home, but we want to be a little bit more specific in terms of the location. All right. We want to be a little bit more specific in terms of the location. Mona Lisa, what do you think the setting is? Yes, the setting of the story took place at Millicent's home. So yes, it's a setting, but we want to be a little bit more specific. So where was Millicent's home? Where was Millicent's home located? Tell me, where was Millicent's home located? So yes, the setting was in Millicent's house where she lives. But tell me, where is Millicent's house located? Is it located in the rural area? Is it located on the north coast? Is it located in the downtown area? Is it all located in the uptown area? Somebody said in a scheme. You're not sure. All right, that's why I said not sure. All right. So, but based on how the house looked, based on how the house was designed, where do you think? Remember, there's a line in the play when Elton was threatened, when Millicent said to Elton, hurry up and sign and leave, because remember, this is a decent neighborhood, a decent community. Yes. And based on the kind of paintings and the things in the house, what kind of feel does it give you? Does it give you the feel of somebody who lives in the country area? Or does it give you the feel of somebody who lives in the uptown area? Does it give you the feel of somebody who lives in the downtown area? Does it give you the feel of somebody who lives on the street side? What kind of feeling does it give when you see it? Okay, so he said the address. Okay, so Tyreek is trying to say it gives an uptown feel. So yes, it's actually set in an uptown gated community. Very good. Gated community uptown. Who said uptown in an apartment? Very good, guys. Very good. So you have to look at the things that tell you that. So when you're describing the setting, so you can describe it in the same way you're telling me now, right? You're saying, so you can say the play is set in the city, you have it in the gated community, in an uptown gated community, or in an uptown apartment, or just like how you put it in the chat, in a gated community in the uptown, in an uptown community, in the home of Millicent. Or the play was set in Millicent's home, which is in a gated community in the uptown area, or the upper scale area. You can put it like that. Because see, all of you put it in the chat, that means you're all following. Yes? Very good, Davani. He was calling out for help and no one was responding. If he was in the ghetto, people would have heard him and, of course, calling out for help. Nice. Very good. All right. So now that we understand in terms of where it was, where the play was set, we want to talk a little bit about some of the themes, or some of the main themes that came out. If it's even 2 of them, we don't have to talk about everything, but there are 2 main ones. What are 2 of the main ones that you saw coming out? Tell me two of the main themes that you saw coming out. In your opinion. And it's okay that and don't worry if you don't get it correct. We will work around it and we'll try and find a way to fix it. Yeah. Tell me, what are some of the themes that you saw coming out? And we can only look at two. You don't have to write all of them. You can just write. You can just talk about two of them. You can only mention two. You don't have to talk about a lot. Yeah. Anybody? Just make a try, make a guess for it before I tell you, or I tell you whether you're incorrect or you're not correct. All right, make a quick guess for it. Anybody? What are some of the themes that we saw coming out? Rashara said cheating, but cheating is a part of what? Chanel said entanglement. All right, so entanglement, cheating, lying. So what are all those things a part of? Right? So of course, so we saw Rashara's word cheating, the lying. So of course, we saw the theme of infidelity, right? Same thing as cheating, lying, etc. So the theme would be a theme of infidelity. But in order for you to have infidelity, you have to have some things, you have to have some relationships happening there. Is that so? Right? So you can have, right? So you can have love and family relationships. Right? We saw that coming out. I see somebody put something about divorce and marriage. So yes, we saw issues in marriage and divorce and marriage. And so you can also use that as a theme. But we also saw classism. Anybody saw that? The classism? Anybody saw the classism? What was the classism in the story? In the play, what in it was classism? Anybody? Millicent's home, the rich man. All right, what we mean by classism? When we talk about classism, guys, we're talking about when you look at people based on the social class. And we saw classism coming out based on how Elton was responding to Millicent. Remember, in the end, Elton thought Millicent was too ghetto, and he wanted somebody who was more uptown and stush. Remember when he mentioned about his wife, he said that when he decided to marry the lady, when he said that he had to choose between Millicent and the other woman, he said that the woman had good conversations and she had social graces. And that's when he referred to Millicent as the summer lime and the other wife as a nice ripe East Indian mango. Do you remember when he made that comment? Right? And so a part of what you can write as part of your themes, when you're talking about the themes in the play, you can say two of the themes that came out in the play would have been love and family relationships and classism. And this was shown in how Elton related to Millicent by referring to her as someone from the ghetto and someone who doesn't have any social graces. Yes? And that would take care of the part that has to do with your themes. All right, are we understanding so far? Just put some yes if you're understanding, so I know that you're fully understanding. I just want to make sure that you're understanding and you're following. And so we want to talk about the points that we are going to review. All right, thank you, Ashara. Thank you, Davani. All right, so let us now look at where your critique is going to come in. Now, this part of it, your review points, is where you give your own opinion on the play. Yes, you give your own opinion. So it's not about it being right or wrong. Would you want me to repeat classism? Okay, classism, Chanel, is when you discriminate against somebody based on their social class, whether they're uptown or downtown. And so in the play, Elton was discriminating against Millicent because Millicent was not as educated and Millicent was from the ghetto, whereas Elton was somebody who was in an upper class community. And so he was discriminating against Millicent for that. So he treats her as somebody from a lower class. And that came out in the play as part of the play when he referred to Millicent as one without social graces, and that his current wife had more intelligent conversations than Millicent. All right, got that now, Chanel? All right, good. So let us now look at the review points, right? Let us look at the review points, everybody. You don't remember that part, Mona Lisa? Yeah? Oh, I'm sorry that you don't remember that part. But it's in the end, it is towards the end when he compared both of them, when he said that he was starving and he was offered a ripe Julie mango, a ripe East Indian mango, so he had to take that or a sour lime. All right, so let's talk about the review points. So the first review point asks if the setting was appropriate, right? If the setting was appropriate. All right, so hold that point. So hold that point. So this is a good point that you make here, and you made it. The lighting was bad. At some point, people from the left couldn't see the right, and people from the right couldn't see the left. All right, so very good. So that's a very good observation. So you can also put that as part of your comment that you believe that the lighting was not as effective because you couldn't see properly. And so what you think, so what you now need to say is also what you think could have been done. You can now just state that you think more lights were needed on the stage. So just all you need to now do is to add that sentence to what you have written anime and edits. Yes? The lighting was bad at some point, as some people from the left couldn't see the right side of the stage, and some people from the right side of the stage couldn't see the left. And so you believe that what could improve it is that more lights be placed on the stage to ensure that entire thing is well lit. Right? So that's a very good observation. But before we go as far down as to the setting, what about some of the other things? Was the setting appropriate for the play? Yes or no? Was the setting appropriate for the play? Okay, you say it was appropriate. Why you say it was appropriate? Tell me. Tell me, you have to say why, right? So this is where it comes in your opinion, and it is your opinion. Why do you think it was appropriate? And say it based on what you would have seen, based on what the story is about. You decide based on what you've seen and heard. Was it appropriate? Just say why. Just your own opinion, why you believe that it was appropriate. Anybody wants to share why you think the setting was appropriate? Guys, this is the important part of your critique now, where you have to start, give your opinion, because this is where most of your marks is. You're going to get the bigger marks here. So just put it in the comment section, and so I can help you to shape it properly. Yes, so that I can help you to shape it properly so you can capitalize on this section, because this is where your opinion counts. Why do you believe the setting of the play was appropriate? It doesn't matter if you put it and you think it is wrong. Let us work through it, even if it feels wrong. We can correct it at this point. So tell me why. Tell me why, Santana. Why you think it was appropriate? Why do you think it was appropriate? Right? All right, so it was so you have to look at it in the fact that it was appropriate as well, guys, because the play was written. Somebody said because he said he came to spend the day with her and the setting was at her house. Okay, very good. So he came to spend the day with her and it was at her house because they didn't get to engage in any sexual activity. No, that is not why the setting was appropriate. But remember, because she's locking him in the house, right? And throwing away the key outside. It would have been hard for her to do that at someone else's place, right? So therefore, she had to lock him in at her house where she had full control. And so that is why having the play set in her house was most appropriate because the play was about the mistress detaining the lover. All right, the play was about the mistress detaining the lover. And so it would be only appropriate for the mistress to detain the lover in her own house. And so because of that, having the play set in the house of Millicent was quite appropriate. With me on that, guys? Very good. So let us get to the other question. The other question is, were the actors consistent in their dialogue and their speech patterns? Were they consistent in their dialogue and their speech patterns? And this is talking about the things that they said, right? And the way in which they said the things that they did. Anime Edit again said, yes, tell me why you say yes. Guys, I don't want you to just tell me yes and disappear. I want you to give me a reason. Yeah, you have to be able to talk about the show. And it is your opinion. The opinion is not wrong or right. Once you can give examples to support the position that you have taken. All right? Were they consistent? And when you think about being consistent in the dialogue, it means that they say the same things the same way all the time. They sounded the same way. So it's not like they started with a lisp and then in the middle of it, they lost the lisp. They maintained that. They call all the words the same way. So if every time Millicent called Elton name, does she say Elton the same way all the time? So why do you think they were consistent? They were focused, right? They were focused. So they were consistent in their dialogue and speech pattern because they were quite focused and they maintained the vocal pattern of the characters right throughout the play. All right? That could be something, and then you could find an example from the play and put it in. All right? You can talk about the fact that they didn't stop talking at any point. They started and the way it ended. Very good. So the same energy that they started with, they ended with the same energy. So basically, the main character, the character they were assigned to, they maintained the character they were assigned. Very good. So the point in this, when you're going to talk about it in your critique now, you're going to talk about the fact that the actors were consistent in their dialogue because they were focused. They didn't stop at any point. They started with the same kind of they ended with the same kind of high energy that they started with, and they maintained the character that they were assigned. And so that's what you're going to write if you're talking about consistent speech. Now, the other part, were they consistent in their actions? That's the other question. Were they consistent in their actions and their physicality? Talk to me. Were they? Boy, Anime Edits, you always out of the blocks real fast enough to tell me the yes them. So now you have to give me the now you have to give me the why. Why do you say that they were consistent in their actions and their physicality? They kept the movements that were given to them. What about is there anything about their body language in terms of how they took on the characters? And that goes back to It's Just Streaks comments, because they also maintain the physicality of the character that they had from the very beginning to the very end. They kept their facial expressions right throughout. Right? In their bodies as well, they were able to capture the various emotions at the different points in the play. Right? And they also did appropriate gestures and mannerism. They had the same body language throughout the play, right? And only adjusted the body language to match the different emotions. Yes, they had the same body language throughout the play and only adjusted those body language to match the different emotions that they wanted to portray. See that, guys? And you give me all of those things, and those are the responses. You type them in there. Those are the answers that you'll write about. And so all of those things that you've just said will now help you to answer question 4. Were the characters believable? And so you can say yes or no, but you have to say why they were believable. Yes? And so if you say why they were believable, you're going to use the information in number 2 and number 3 to say why they were believable. And so you talk about the fact that they were believable because the actors were consistent in their dialogue and speech patterns, and they were also very consistent in their physicality and their actions. They maintained their facial expressions throughout, and that made them believable. Everybody got that? All right, so let's talk about the costumes. Right, let's talk about the costumes. Any comment anybody want to make about the costumes? Any comments we want to make about the costumes? Come, Anime. You're always telling me yes and no. So give me a comment on the costume since you're there. I know Rashara is still there. It's Just Streaks still there. Chanel Cole. I don't know if Mona Lisa is, if Mona Lisa Addison is still there. I haven't seen anything from Tyreek in a while. Or Davani. I don't know if you're still there, but I know Chanel still is. So tell me something about the costumes. And the costumes were okay. All right, Rashara, but you can't just put the costumes were okay. It reflected that the man was a very decent man. Okay, it's Tarika using another account. All right, my dear. So you can't just put the costumes were okay. All right. So you want to put a little bit more than that. So Elton was giving businessman rich and smart. All right. So so you could use that. So you can talk about the costumes. What Elton wore was appropriate for the role he was playing, as the costume he wore gave the impression of somebody who was a businessman, rich and smart. Very good, Chanel. So that's a good way that you can put it. Yes, but for Millicent too, in terms of costume, but I also want you to remember that even though she had on pajamas, her costume was appropriate for where she was. She was at home in the night and had no intention of going anywhere. And so she was wearing her pajamas. And so that made her costume appropriate. All right, Davani, I see that you're here listening. Very good. I just want you to be there. All right. Now, which of the actors stood out to you? And I asked you this question at the very beginning. Which of the actors stood out to you? Yes, you can state the same thing that you gave me at the beginning. Because somebody wrote at the beginning that Dion Silvera, stood out because of how she played the role and the sound of her voice and and how she captured the different emotions. Right? And so that is what you're going to write. The actor that stood out was Dion Silvera, and you state why she stood out in your opinion. Right, guys? Very good. I see people saying Dion. I see everybody rooting for Dion. When I go to the theater tonight, because we have a show tonight, boy, I'm gonna have to tell them but that boy, the students were rooting for Dion. I'm going to share that bit of information with them. Yes. All right. So let us jump to the other section on your paper where we're looking at the impact of the production. And this is also the last section of the production of your critique. And guys, I want you to pay keen attention to this part. It is important. Now, you want to start the impact because you want to see how the play reached the different people. And so one of the things you want to think about is why in your opinion did the playwright write this play? Why do you think Mr. Dawkins decided he's going to write this play? Anybody? You can look back at your paper and it can be for more than one reasons. It doesn't have to be just one. It can be for more than one. So in your opinion, why you think Mr. Basil Dawkins decided to write this play? For entertainment and awareness, very good. So that could also be part of your reason. He just wants to, for entertainment purpose, and he wants to raise awareness. But raise awareness about what? What is he raising awareness about, Tyreek? What do you think he's raising awareness about? Because a situation like this happens in real life. Very good. Because situations like these happen in real life, marriage life. So, okay, so fine. So you can always put a comment section you can always put it there to say, okay, the playwright wrote the play for entertainment and also to raise awareness about the various issues that happen within marriage life, and also for people to get an understanding that the issues explored are things that happen in a real life situation. And Devon, you can say it was relatable to him. So you can put those as the reasons why you believe that the playwright would have written the play like that. Devon, you put that it's relatable to him. So you have to justify that a little bit more. So for example, if you're going to choose that it's related to him, you can now justify that statement by saying that you think it's relatable to him because of how the story was well written. It felt as if the writer would have experienced something similar because of how well written it was. Right, Davani? So you can add that little part to your point. All right, guys. Now, so now that you said, what do you think the message of the play is, in your opinion? What do you think the message of the play is? Because if you want to talk about the impact of the play in terms of how you think people will perceive the work, what do you think the message of the play is? The message that is being sent, what do you think the message is? Anybody? There are two sides to a story. Very good, Rashara. That is a very strong message. That could be there are two sides to a story. Anybody else? Any other message you think you receive from anybody else? Any other message? There are two sides to a story. Stay loyal to each other and always communicate. That's very good. And so we have two messages that we can work with. Yes, there are two sides to a story. Who is this? Devani says, stop cheat and stay loyal to your partner. That's also a message. Another one, anything you do in the dark will always come to light. Guys, this is very good. Yes, these are some real good messages that you are pulling out. So these are 4 different ones that you can put in your critique. You don't have to write all 4 of them, but you can also put in it. So you'll simply write that several messages came out in the play. And some of the messages that came out were, one, there are 2 sides to a story. Stay loyal to each other and always communicate. Stop cheating or stop the infidelity and stay loyal to your partner. And the other one is that anything you do in the dark will always come to the light. Now, that it is wrong for women to cheat and also for the male. Very good. So, you want to ask yourself, if that was the message, how do you know that the audience got the messages that you're putting in the comment section? So the persons who watch the play believe that they got the play, that they got the messages. Tell me why you think so. Why do you believe the people got the message, that the other persons who were watching the play with you got that message or those messages? The other persons who were in the theater with you, do you believe that they got that messages? Those messages? Yes, because of the mood the actors gave off. Okay, but what about the mood that the audience gave off? Do you think the other persons who were watching the play with you actually, the other persons who were watching the play with you, do you believe those other persons actually got the message? The same way you got it, do you believe that they got those messages as well? And why you believe that they got those messages? Tell me why you believe they got those messages, Rashara. Why you believe they got those messages the same way you did? Anybody there? Right? Tarika said they got it because of the mood the actors gave off. Give me another reason why you believe the same way you walked away and you're able to pick out those things as the messages in the play. Why do you believe that the other persons also would be able to pick out those messages? Did you, because their performances were believing and touching, but that's for the audience, for the actor. What about the audience? Very good, Chanel. Very good, Chanel, because we could hear the audience reacting to some things the actors were saying. So that is how you know that they would have also gotten the messages, because you could hear their different reactions to the things that the actors were saying. And so because you could hear those different reactions, you knew that they were actually hearing. They also got the messages. All right, very good. And that's all you need to, what the messages were, and you write down those messages, right? You can now say you believe that the audience got those messages because, yes, the actors' performances were quite believable and touching and gave off a mood. And so you could hear the audience reacting to some of the things that the actors were saying. Guys, I hope you're writing these things down now, because you're giving some really and very good points. So I really hope you're putting them down in the right places so you can go and write your critique. All right. Now, so let's talk about some of the different reactions that you got from the people who were watching the play. So while you were watching the play, what were some of the different reactions that you got or you heard coming from the other persons who were in the audience with you? What were some of the reactions? Anybody? What were some of the reactions? Laughter, clap. Some people were sad, right? And you could hear the sadness in the sounds that people were making. All right, so you hear the laughter, you heard persons clapping, you heard, and some persons were sad. Is there anybody who was cursing? People were angry? Did you hear anybody who was angry? Was anybody shouting, laughter, and people disagreeing based on what was said? All right. So yes. So you could hear the different disagreement. And so a part of it, after you've spoken about the message, then you want to talk about how the audience reacted. And just like you're sharing it with me now, you can talk about the reaction. And you can always talk about the fact that, boy, the audience reacted well. The audience reacted differently with different emotions. They were so involved. They were laughing. Some were clapping. Some people were sad. You could hear some people disagreeing openly because of what the actors were saying, right? So you can put that. Who do you think the play is targeting? Because they gave a reaction to it. All right, who do you think the play was targeting? Anybody? Who is the audience? Who is the target audience for the play? We are almost done, guys. We're coming close. So let us just stay with me to the end. Yes, who do you think the play was actually targeting? Anybody, who do you think it was targeting? Males, females, teenagers, children, adults, just generally, just everybody overall, babies? Who do you think the play was targeting? Which audience? All right, Tarika said he thinks the play was targeting adults. Is it just any adults overall? All right, so two persons. Rashara also said she believed that it was targeting adults. Anybody else? And so you have a right to choose who you think it was targeting. And then you will also say why, right? Rashara said also married couples. All right, so tell me why you think it was targeting adults or why you think it was targeting married couples, adults that engage in relationships. Yes, and you must also say why. So what in the play that suggests to you that it's targeting adults or married couples or just adults who engage in relationships? Tell me. Tell me what in the play suggests that to you. What in the play suggests to you that the play was targeting adults and married couples? Talk to me. Because it was about a man cheating on his wife. Very good. Because when they were telling each other story, you could tell. So it was targeting adults because it was about a man cheating on his wife, right? So there are different reasons that you could identify because the issues in the relationships are issues that adults deal with or married couple deal with. Yeah, and so you could use that as your reason for why those persons would have been the target audience. Very good, guys. Now, the other question, would you recommend this play to somebody? Would you send somebody else to go and watch the play? Based on what you saw, would you say to a friend of yours or an uncle or an auntie or somebody to say to them, go and watch this play? Would you do that? Yes, Rashara said yes. Yes, miss, because it's very entertaining. Nice, Tyreek. So Tyreek is getting it. You have to give the why. You must always give the why. Yes, but you want to add something else to that, Tyreek. So yes, you would send them to go and watch it because it's very entertaining, but it also has life lessons as well. So that's the other part that Rashara just put down on it. So you can put those two things as your reasons, yes, because it's very entertaining and because it has life lessons. Those are two very, very strong parts. Somebody has said yes, because it's relatable to the people in their everyday life and also because it is entertaining. Very, guys, these responses are really, really good. So I hope you're jotting them down, guys. I don't want you to forget them. Put them in your critique and your critique will be very strong. And so we want to answer the other question on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest. How much would you give the play? on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you give the play? With 10 being the highest. They can't get more than 10, and 1 is the lowest that they can get. Roshana said 10 because I loved it. All right, so you've justified your 10. Tariq said, yes, it's 10 because it's a lot. It has a lot to teach. Yes, thank you, Rashara. Thank you. It's just tricks. I don't know. It feel like I have only Rashara, Chanel, and Tariq alone. Just stay with me. I don't know if you guys are still with me. All right. Chanel, you say you're from Central High. Tariq, you're also Central High. Chanel said because it is mixed with a lot of feelings, sad, happy, and a whole lot more. So yes, so it took you on a roller coaster, right? It took you on a roller coaster. Very good. And so all of those things, if you write all of those things, you will be able to get all the things that you need. Rashara, you're also from Central High? I know Chanel is from Central High. So, okay, so all three of you are from Central High. Okay, very good. Right? All of what grade are you in? Grade 10 or grade 11? Tariq is in grade 10. Rashara is in grade 10. Chanel, grade 10 as well. Okay, so all of you are in grade 10. All right, I'm just writing your names down. You've been very consistent. I don't know where Devani went. Devani was right here with me. I'm not sure where Devani went. I don't know if he's still there listening or he's somewhere else. But guys, once you have written all these things that we've put in the comment section, you cannot go wrong with your critique. But remember, you can't put them in point format. You have to write it in like a full big paragraph, a full big essay. So make sure you jot your points, put them together, just like how we put them in the chat and told me, because you told me some very strong points, and so you can give them to your teacher. Now, do we have any questions that you wanted to ask about the play that you just did not get a chance to ask? Now is the time for us to ask some of those questions before we wrap up the live. Do we have any questions? Any questions from anybody? Anything about the play that was not very clear that you also that you'd want to ask? All right, it seems as if we're okay. We don't have any further questions, but if while you're putting your critique, any questions pop up, then you can always come back to the live. You can always make a comment. You can always reach out to me. And of course, I'll be happy to assist you. I'll be very glad to assist you. So you can reach out and ask. You can reach out and ask any question that you would want to ask. Oh, Miss Smith, thanks for telling me. Devani is a girl. She's pronounced as Devani, and she didn't even correct me. Thank you so much for the correction. Right, she was right with us until the end. I'm not sure what happened. Why it is that that we missed her from the comment section. All right, guys, so we are going to wrap up the live. I think we have gone through all the things that we've gone through. So thank you so much for coming to the show. I'm happy you all enjoyed it. Thank you so much as well for coming on to the live, and so we could talk through it. And I wish you all the best on your exam and with your critique. Like I said, feel free to reach out and ask questions if you're unclear about something. I'm also going to ask that you just subscribe to my channel and go ahead and check it out. It has a lot of theater information on it. For all the students who are doing theater arts, you can find a lot of things about stick fighting. You can find things about storytelling. You can find things about warming up, how the actor prepares the body, stage positions. So I have a range of things on there about theater arts that can be quite useful. So just go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and of course turn on your notifications, so once I put up the theater arts content, you can be one of the first persons to be notified and you can benefit. So have yourselves a very, very good night, everybody. Thank you for joining.